Well, hello, my friend. Welcome to the Artist Next Level podcast. I'm very happy, very excited that you decided to join me today one more time because today is going to be a great episode. I'm going to talk about Instagram. I realize I haven't talked about Instagram in quite a bit, quite a while. So this is a good episode. I'm going to talk about 5 things that you could be doing right now to increase your reach and your engagement on your Instagram account. So don't go anywhere. It's going to be a good episode.
Resources, inspiring interviews, business practices, and practical advice to take your art career to the next level. Join Sergio Gomez in today's Artist Next Level and get ready to take control of your career.
Well, hello, my friend. Super happy to be here with you once again. It's been kind of more of a quiet week. Last week I was super busy, super hectic on the launch and release of my new body of work. If you haven't seen that yet, please go check it out. I would really appreciate it. My show is online. It's on a 3D virtual environment or experience that you can navigate on your phone or also on your computer. Super cool. And all you have to do is go to sergiogomezonline.com. Again, sergiogomezonline.com, and you will see there the show called Living. It's a pandemic series of paintings. Pretty much the work that I've been doing throughout the pandemic. And in the previous episode of the podcast, I talk all about behind the scenes of preparing for that show, for that launch. And while the launch is already happened, it's over, and I'm super excited because on the first couple days, over 1,000 people visited my particular webpage where the show was hosted. So very excited. Pretty much thanks to the pandemic, I guess, had more visibility for that body of work than if I actually had perhaps one night opening, right? So I'm still inviting people to it. The show is going to be open for a couple months and very excited for that. So check it out if you haven't done so. I would really appreciate it. Let me know how you like it. That would also mean the whole world to me. Well, my friend, today I'm super happy to talk all about Instagram because guess what? Instagram is still very important today. Instagram still should be one of your top platforms to engage with your audience or to find a new audience if you don't have one yet or you're just starting out. So I figured, this is September, kind of beginning of the fall of 2020, and what a year it has been, right? So I figured let's talk about some of the new and maybe also some of the improved strategies that you could be doing right now on Instagram to help you reach more people, those who know you and those who do not know you, and also to increase your engagement, right? Those are 2 very important metrics. So you definitely want to pay attention to this episode, write things down or just remember them. These are kind of like 5 things that I'm using quite a bit myself. And if you know me, I spend a lot of time on Instagram. First of all, I enjoy it. I really like it. I think it's a great app. Also, I can connect with a lot of people there, and perhaps you and I have connected through Instagram at some point, and I love that. I reply to all my DMs, which is pretty cool. And also, I think it's a great platform to find other artists, to find other people, other creatives, and for also collectors to find you. So in today's episode, let's go and let's review 5 things that you could be doing right now. Now, before I go through all those 5 kind of things that you could be doing, first let's talk about something which is super important, which is the algorithm, right? And you have heard probably other people talk about the algorithm. Maybe you have heard me talk about the algorithm. But what is the algorithm? Well, the algorithm is pretty much the system, right? The software, it's a piece of software, pretty much code, right, that works behind the scenes on Instagram and on Facebook and on every social media, that gives a particular piece of content more or less reach. Pretty much will push it to more people or to less people, right? The algorithms also, are getting smarter and smarter. They can detect what type of content you're putting out there. They can also detect what type of content it might think that you will be more likely to respond to. For example, if you are on Instagram and you like a picture of somebody at the beach, well, guess what? Probably in the next few days, you're going to be seeing a lot of more of those pictures because, the algorithms captured that action that you either spend more time looking at that image or you liked it or you engage with a particular individual, and then you will see more posts of that person or of that kind of genre of image because the algorithm, that's what it's doing, right? So the algorithm is really not your enemy. You just have to know how to work with it so that it can give you better results when you are posting yourself, your content out into the world as an artist, right? Put it this way, the algorithm, I always think about the algorithm is not my enemy. It's actually, it could be my friend, right? If you if you cannot tame the algorithm, well, let's just be buddies and let's work together. Let me figure out, what is your goal as an algorithm, right? What is it that you're trying to accomplish so that we can work together, right? If I know what you're trying to accomplish and you know what I'm trying to accomplish, well, maybe there's some mutual love there that we can work together. Think of it that way, and maybe it will help you as you approach social media, particularly on Instagram, which is what we're talking about right now. So, when it comes to the algorithm, when it comes to the social media, when it comes to Instagram, the goal, right? The goal of Instagram and the social media and the algorithm is to keep you longer on the app. That's the aim, that's the ultimate goal, is to keep you as a user longer on the app, right? So that you don't get out of the app and do something else. They want you to stay longer, to be there longer, right? To spend a lot of time on the social media app. Why? Not because it's just more fun. The reason they want you to stay longer in the app is so that they can serve you more ads, right? All these platforms, they make their money, out of advertisement, not of the user, because for us to use it is free. We don't pay by the minute, otherwise we will probably go in and out really quickly. It's free to us so that we stay there as long as possible so that they can show us more ads. Every certain number of pictures, you'll see an ad. Every certain number of Instagram stories, you will see an ad, right? So ads are, how the platform, all these different ads, how the platform is going to make revenue. And in fact, they make tons of revenue. They are very profitable, Instagram, Facebook, and so on, because of that. We spend a lot of time looking, and therefore they can serve us a lot of ads. And sometimes you may see an ad of something that you like, and then you click on it, and now, it will be showing you more ads of that particular thing. For example, the other day, I love watches, and I was scrolling and I saw a post of a watch, and then started showing me more watches, right? And then I would start seeing more watch ads. So, if I clicked on one, then now it would trigger more watches that will showing up on my feed as I'm scrolling, right? Even though I'm not following any watchmaker or anything like that, just because of that action and because of the algorithm is doing its job. So if we know that, now that we know that and we understand, okay, the job of the algorithm is to keep people longer in the application. So then that's what it's trying to do. Therefore, what are the things that I can do myself as an artist, to also create content that people enjoy, that people will want to stick around and stay at the app or stay there with my content, right? So here's like 5 things that I think you should be doing. The first one, which is the newest feature of them all, and as you know, Instagram, just like any other, application, they're always coming out with new features and new things that they add on. And the newest one, the biggest release that they have done recently is Reels, Instagram Reels, Reels. It is already available in many countries, including US, UK, and Mexico, and Canada, and I don't know what other countries. Can't remember. I saw the list. I forgot. But anyway, it may or may not be available in your country. Don't quote me on it, right? So I know it's in the United States, and that's I can tell you for sure because it came here first. It was released in India. They tested out in India, and then they released it here in the United States. Now, what is Reels? Well, Reels is kind of Instagram appropriation of TikTok. If you have seen or used TikTok, it's like an application that's been actually a lot in the news recently, but it's an application that is based on 15-second or up to a minute, on TikTok, mini videos, and that's it. There's no pictures, it's all video based, and you just swipe up and down, and when you start, you swipe down to see the next TikTok video, and it's very addicting. You can be there for hours. The first time I used it, I was like, oh my god, this is really taking me a lot of my time. Had to be careful with this because this could be really fun. So, and the algorithms on TikTok are incredible. They really can pick up, what you like very fast and start showing you, throwing you more stuff so that you stay on it. So anyhow, Instagram kind of copied some of those features and came out with its very own kind of mini video thing, which they call it Reels. So Reels, at the beginning, I thought it was going to be a different app, and maybe others thought about the same thing, but it's actually created within Instagram itself. So when you go to Instagram and you're going to create a story, you will see at the bottom of your Instagram story, when you go to the story, at the bottom, you will see on the left, it will say live, at the center, it will say story, and then on the right, now you see the word Reels. So if you swipe to Reels, now you can start creating 15-second little mini video stories, right? It's only 15 seconds. It's not like TikTok that you can do longer. It's only 15 seconds on Instagram. And Reels, it's actually pretty fun. I've been using it quite a bit for my art, for my studio. And I can record close-ups of my art, like really short, take people into a quick 15-second tour into one of my works, like up close and personal. And those have been doing really well on my Instagram, and also kind of like little mini 15-second videos on process things that I'm doing. And what's fun about Reels is that you can, just like TikTok, you can click and hold the main button to record for like 2-3 seconds, and then you can stop, and then you click hold again for another 4 or 5 seconds. So you can create all these little mini tiny bits of video that at the end it will sum up to 15 seconds. Now, so why is that a good one to use? Why should I use it? Well, the reason you should use it, and this is the main reason that's going to help you get more reach and more engagement, is that because it's the newest feature, Instagram is pushing it to a lot more people. So you always want to be on the side of new releases, new features that the platform, in this case that Instagram, is pushing, right? So if you remember when Instagram Live, first was released, well, Instagram was pushing them all the time. And they're still pushing them, actually. Very quickly, when you are on Instagram, you will see one of your the people that you follow is live, because it will be at the top on the bubbles. It will be pushed to the front so that you don't miss it. They still want you to join live, so that's still working really well. However, Reels is the newest thing, right? The newest feature on Instagram, that if you start using it, Instagram is going to push it to a lot more people than if you just normally post, let's say, one picture. So that's why I recommend you use it. I've been using it, and it's been a great kind of feature, which my posts that are reel based, are getting a lot of more views. What's nice about it is that when you create a reel, you share it, right? So it goes into your story as well, into your stories section of Instagram, but also you can choose to have it in your main wall. So it will be part of your personal wall. So as people are looking at your different posts, they can see one of your reels. And it's optional. You can also remove it from there. Now, the first time you use a reel, what you'll find is that it also adds a little icon in your home feed, in that people see on your profile, that is for reels. So every time you add a new reel, it will also be housed there. So it gives you all this kind of more visibility, and that's why I love it. That's why I think you should be using it, because it's the newest thing, and the newest thing always gets more love, always gets pushed harder than anything else, than any of the other things. Why? Because the platform wants you to use it. They want you to use it. So if you use it, they're going to reward you with more reach and also with more views. So that's definitely the main reason of why using reach. So that's number one. Right now, 2020, summertime, beginning of the fall, just kicking in. very shortly, and looking at what are the top 5 things you can do on Instagram to improve your reach and engagement. Second one that I highly recommend, again, because of we talk about, right? We talk about how the algorithms want you to stay longer, right? So what you're going to use is when you make a post, if you use the carousel feature, and this is not a new feature, this is an old feature, but it still works really well. You get up to 10 images that you can put, in your post as an Instagram post, not a story, but as an Instagram post. Typically you would put 1 or 2, but you have up to 10. If you think about it, if you have 10 images and the person continues to swipe to see the whole 10 images, that person will stay longer in that post. So the algorithms looked at that, and people are actually swiping and they want to see all of them. It will give that post also more love, again, because it is causing people to stop and to stay longer, right? To stay longer and to keep looking. So that is one very important reason why the carousel post is a really good one to try or to use more often. Of course, you cannot do it all the time. I don't use it all the time. I don't always have multiple images of something I want to post, but lately, I've been trying to think about, okay, how can I make this into a carousel post that will have more images? Perhaps here's an idea: you have a picture of one of your artworks, and then you have the main artwork in the first image, and then you will have maybe certain details of the artwork, and then in the caption you say, swipe right to see more or to see details. So it invites people to swipe. And what you will notice too is that sometimes as you're looking at the people that you follow, and if the person has a carousel, let's say you come into Instagram today and you see a person that has carousel image, you may see one image, right? And you keep going. Maybe tomorrow when you log in into Instagram again, you might see the same post, but now you will be seeing the second or third or fourth image in the carousel again, because Instagram is trying to call your attention so that you can swipe and spend more time on that post. So that's a good one to use. Another one, number 3, again, another third kind of strategy technique you can use to stay or to keep people engaged in your posts and therefore getting more reach is use interesting captions. At the end of the day, if your caption is interesting, if it creates conversation, if it's inviting for people to chat and to talk, and if actually works, if people actually are talking, then therefore that post is going to be hot, right? It's going to be in the eyes of the friendly algorithm, is going to say, that's a good post. People are talking in that post. People are commenting on that post. So I'm going to show it to more people, more of your followers, and more others who we think, or who I think it might be a good post for them to see. So definitely use interesting captions as much as you can, so that you get more engagement on the post and therefore more reach. And that's kind of a something that I think everybody knows by now, right? That you want people to engage with you, but it's hard. It's not easy because, as you all know, a lot of times you make a post and nobody comments, and sometimes the post that you think is going to be your best one is your worst one, and the one that you think is the worst post, you only put it there in 3 minutes, you were on a rush, and that one actually does really well. You just never know, right? So, but keeping attention to your caption, I think, is important. Not too long, not too short. Next one, number 4, the fourth kind of thing that you can do to continue, reaching more people on Instagram is to use Instagram stories, and to use Instagram stories throughout the day, not just once. So you got a little bubble, right? That is your Instagram story. So when you put an Instagram story, that little bubble pushes to the front of your followers so that they know, right, that you just posted a story there, right? And as they going through their Instagram, and they eventually get to your story, to that bubble. Depends how long they stay in, and so on. So if you do it throughout the day, you don't want to also overdo it and have 50 stories, in one day. Otherwise, a lot of people will just skip it if it's not really interesting. But, just maybe 3 or 4 stories throughout the day. Depends what what time you have, how much you want to do. And some days you can do more, some days you can do less. But I am always advising you should always have an Instagram story. Maybe you have heard me talk about this. You should always have an Instagram story on your, account. That means always that little bubble of yours should always be occupied, should never be empty. Even if you don't have time in a particular day, just go to your Instagram, pick a post that you like, and then just click share and just share it onto your stories again. It will be gone in 24 hours anyway, so you don't have to overthink it. But, in the morning, for example, you can put an Instagram story, and maybe midday put another one, maybe at night put another one. So that way, the cycle of the 24-hour, it continues to stretch on your Instagram story, so that if you put, 5-6 stories all at once in the morning and then nothing else the rest of the day, well, tomorrow, 24 hours later, all those 5 will be gone. Right now, you don't have anything. So every time you add to your stories, that little bubbles of yours becomes more relevant, right, to others. And again, it will help. So multiple stories also give people a chance to stay longer on, if your stories are interesting, if they want to keep looking, right? So again, it makes them or invites them to stay longer. Therefore, the algorithms will love that. That's number 4. And the last one, number 5, is DM people, right? DMing people, also super important, super cool feature. This feature of or ability to connect with one another through messaging, through direct messaging. And believe it or not, also Instagram likes it when you are in conversations with people, not only in the post, but also privately. Because even though it's a private conversation, you're still staying and remaining in the app itself. So that's a great way to do that. And sometimes a good way to kind of start conversations is if you go to the stories, right? You're looking not at your story, but the people that you follow stories, and you see something you like, you can just swipe up and make a quick comment on that story. And when you make a comment on that story, it will go to the comment will go to that person's, DMs. So it is great because they will see your comment and they can reply if they want to engage with you. And so now you're creating more of that kind of little engagement. If you do that a couple of times a day, it's great, right? Because now you are one who's creating also a sense of community and conversation. And that's what, the algorithms want too, that people connect with each other. Remember, it's called social media, so that people can be social, not just go post and leave, but rather be part of the community and connect with one another. And when you do that, right, the algorithms will give you more love, right? You're giving them what they want, which is interesting content that people will want to stay longer to look at. So that's, my friend, the number 5 of them. So let's review them all really quickly. 5 things you could be doing right now as of the beginning of fall 2020 on Instagram to increase your reach and your engagement. Number 1 is do Reels, right? Reels, Instagram Reels, because it's brand new feature and Instagram is pushing it a lot. Second one, carousel posts, pretty much your Instagram post with multiple images, up to 10. And something that, I don't know if you don't know this, but you can combine pictures with videos. So you can make a carousel that has pictures and videos, which is pretty cool. Another one is also interesting captions, right? You can also, the third one thing you can do is make sure that you have interesting captions that people may want to engage with and read. Number 4 is use Instagram stories throughout your day. And last one, DM people, direct message people, have conversations or start conversations or reply to people that have DM you, so that, you create a sense of community. And you will be rewarded, my friend. You do these 5 things on a consistent basis and you will be rewarded. And that's pretty much the word I have for you today. A bit of a nice little chat here on Instagram. I hope you found this useful, helpful. If it was helpful for you, do me a favor. Please, share this episode with a friend. All you have to do is, if you are in your application that has the audio podcast, there should be a little button to share. You can share that with a friend or you can share in your social media. I would love if you do that. It will really make me so happy that you are finding this information useful, not only keeping it to yourself, but sharing it with others, just as I'm sharing it with you as well. And of course, if you haven't done so yet, if you are on Apple Podcasts, before you go anywhere, give me a quick, review of this podcast. I would love to hear from you. Give me a quick review. Would love to hear what you think of the podcast on a weekly basis, how you like the episodes. And if you are new to my podcast, welcome. This is your first time, welcome as well. You can go back and find, 200 and something plus episodes that have spanned for now like 3 years. So thank you for being here. I will be here again very soon. And sometimes with conversations like this, sometimes interviews with others, and sometimes, other good surprises. So have a great day, my friend. I will see you in the next level.
Check out our website at www.theartistnextlevel.com, where you will find our podcast library, learn about our upcoming webinars, find resources relevant to your career, and much more. Thanks for listening to today's podcast, and we'll see you at the next level.